Good morning, Menifee. It's Kristen with Menifee 24/7. We have a special treat for you today. We are with Rady Children's Medical Center. Today I have a special guest, and it's Kristen Gist. How are you today?
Fine, thank you, and
Good.
thanks for being here.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about Rady Children's Medical Center and what you do here?
Well, we're part of Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego. We started in 1954, and I've been at Rady Children's on staff since 1974. We've had much growth over those years, as you can imagine. Most exciting is being here in the Southwest Riverside area in Murrieta with our new medical center that opened in July.
We're so glad that you came to this area. I know there's lots of needy people that would love to just come right here, and they just haven't known about it. They've been traveling to San Diego, so this is a great facility.
We're very excited, and for my areas, this is developmental services, but we also have specialists here, all the medical specialties, about 17 of them.
Wow.
And we have pediatric care, primary care upstairs. So really, children can get everything they need except an inpatient stay here at our medical center.
Well, that's great. Let's go take a look.
We're about to go into Alexa's Place. That's spelled P-L-A-Y-C, Playful Learning Academy for Young Children. This is named after a little girl named Alexa who started here when she was 16 months old. So Alexa's Place is an inclusion preschool program for children at risk for autism and typically developing peers. Signage of Alexa's Place. So Alexa's Place started in 1998 when there was an increasing number of children on the autistic spectrum. In fact, it was around the time that it was first identified as being a spectrum disability instead of just a diagnosis of a child that had all these most severe symptoms. So the nets got larger in terms of the children who were identified. And we had a researcher clinician who I brought into San Diego to start this program with me. Each class has 2/3 of the children are typically developing children, and 1/3 are on the autistic spectrum or at high risk for autism. They start at 18 months and it goes to kindergarten. So in order to be eligible, a typically developing child needs to be typically developing. So in other words, they don't have to be exactly where they should be for their age, but they can't be very delayed in their communication skills or in their social emotional development because they are models for children on the spectrum who have trouble with communication and social interactions. The children with autism, the ones who are 18 months to 3, usually come through either the Inland Regional Center or San Diego Regional Center for those children who live on this side of San Diego County. And those are children who are ready to interact with children in a group or ready to learn from children in a group.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Last one, should we do nod your head or shout hooray? Hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! And what shape is this one?
Diamond.
Diamond. Good job, Caleb. Jackson, what color is the diamond? Pink.
So this is Victoria Moore. Victoria is one of our psychologists who provides those comprehensive diagnostic developmental evaluations. Victoria, do you want to explain a little bit about the kinds of children who come to see you?
Sure. We see children of all ages. So the youngest child I've had recently was about 3 months old, and we take them all the way up till they turn to adults. Typically I see children somewhere between 1 and 6 years old, and we do a variety of different types of assessments. One of the more common ones is doing a diagnostic assessment for autism. But we also do diagnostic assessments for things like ADHD or anxiety or other behavioral concerns or developmental concerns that a parent might have.
Nice. Alright, can you hear me okay? Alright, so you've probably done this in the past, but on your left side, I'm going to play a little bit of that wind noise. It's like shh. Just ignore it. Keep repeating those words, okay?
We're in our medical specialty area now. We have 17 specialists, so that could be from urology to orthopedics, neurology, really ear, nose, and throat. We have every specialty a child could need. Now, we don't have yet as many days of each specialty as we will eventually need for up here. And there are some areas that we have need for and we don't yet have the specialists. So one is child psychiatry. But I'm going to be involved in helping to train the psychiatry fellows. We're working on an agreement with UC Riverside, so the psychiatry fellows are doing a rotation here. Speech and language disorders are the most common disorders for early childhood. I mean, clearly they occur with autism and intellectual disabilities, but just plain speech and language delay. And speech and language development affects a child's ability to interact with other children, their overall behavior at home and in the community, in their preschool. It affects reading eventually. So early literacy can be affected by delayed speech and language that's untreated. So here we have 3 full-time speech language pathologists who treat children at the earliest ages to make sure that their language foundations are strong. Adriana and Janae and Kelly all work to help our patients get access to care. I can't emphasize enough how important this is. Families can wait for a very long time to make sure that their insurance is authorized and that they can get the right therapist for their child's problem. So they work with families every day on the phone, as many families a day, to try to make sure that their insurance coverage is intact and that they'll be able to see a therapist as soon as possible.
The interesting part about all of this also is that we have partnerships with some of the hospitals in this area, Southwest Riverside County. So we have a partnership with Rancho Springs where our physicians and nurses are running the NICU there, which is a nice connection because we have the specialists there. And also we have part of the emergency room there as well, where some of our physicians are there working with the staff in the emergency room, because a lot of times, you know, you need a specialist that can deal with children to be able to work with children, and having an adult doctor sometimes just doesn't work. And so it's nice to be able to partner with some of the organizations and groups up here, medical facilities, just because it gives us that extra opportunity to work with these families in Southwest Riverside County.
What about here? Can you make a circle in here? Inside of this? Of course. Does that weight feel okay on your hand?
What about here?
You're helping the baby whale get to his daddy. You need to press all that or no? What about this?
That's not through here.
Okay. Make a circle there. Inside of the circle. Thank you. This one here.
Yeah, go on.
John Everly.
We have something that's really a first here in Marietta, and in fact, probably a first in the state of California. First Five Riverside granted us a program called Healthy Steps. So we applied for a competitive grant and were awarded a program called Healthy Steps, which places developmental specialists in the primary care office. So they will shadow a primary care visit, they'll shadow the pediatrician during the well child visit, and then they will follow up with the family on developmental checkups and social emotional checkups and any referrals that are needed.
Okay, so remember the big thing with the stretching is that we want to keep that back nice and flat so that we can isolate the hamstring, okay? And where do you feel that stretching? Awesome, good job, bud. Okay, so that's exactly where we want to feel it. So go ahead and switch sides. We're going to get the other side again. This is good for getting so much extra practice. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall. And then remember, we don't want to curve through the back here. We want to get nice and tall. And then where do you feel the stretch on this one? Good. Okay, bud. Okay, so what's important with this stretch? What do we try and do? Yeah, so we want to take your pelvis, right? And we're going to rotate the pelvis. No, don't lean back. See, maybe you fall through the trunk. We rotate the pelvis. Good. And then where do you feel the stretch? You feel it high? Oh, good. That's where we want to feel it. If you feel it a little higher up, we can always try and walk this foot a little further out.
Rady Children's Medical Center in Marietta is one of the very few places where a child can receive their primary pediatric care, see their medical specialist, and have all the developmental services that they need in one location. I think it doesn't get much better than that.